Hi everyone, welcome to Water Tanks with StewiejP. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 10 British Tank Destroyer, the FV215b 183, aka the Death Star. It's been driven by Shooter MrGavin, one of the officers at Anzac Clan, and he's platooning with his old mate Stephen 1987, who's driving the British heavy tank, the normal FV215b. We're on the Siegfried line, and Shooter MrGavin is going to get straight into the action in the middle of the town, where traditionally all the heavies come to play. He's probably looking at those two E100s and thinking I wouldn't mind taking a bit of their hit points out of them. Now the FV215b is the original British tank destroyer line. It's a tank that I've got. I absolutely love it. I don't play it as well as Shooter MrGavin though. Now Shooter MrGavin has opted to load the HESH rounds. There's a few options with ammunition in this tank, and the HESH rounds give a little bit less penetration, but they do, if you look at the bottom of the screen, they do up to 1750 damage. Got about 100 less pen. 100 less pen than the normal rounds, the AP rounds, but if it goes through, it does a hell of a lot of damage. Now that one only did 745. That's because HESH rounds do have to compete with the armour of the tank that they're shooting with. Now one of the downsides of the Death Star is it's got a very long reload, and it does take a while to aim as well. But when you land a shot, a little bit like the KV2, it's just a massive derp gun. Now he's not doing what tank destroyer drivers often do, and not sitting up the back, up here where the T49 is and the grill. It's very tempting in a tank destroyer to sit back and snipe and all that kind of stuff, but Shooter MrGavin is getting right into the action here. He's reloaded and he's looking for another opportunity. Maybe on that E100 again. There he is. Takes him out for 500 damage. As I said earlier, the penetration's not the best with the HESH rounds, but you'll see sooner or later he's going to get a high roll and just absolutely pummel the artillery. There's a lot of enemy tanks there, but he's in a pretty good spot. He's taking a little bit of damage. He's reloaded and he's looking at the cupola of that tortoise, and yes, that was 1900 damage. The tortoise will not know what hit him then. He'll probably think he's been shot by more than one tank. So pulling back into a little bit of a less aggressive position because he's down to half health. His mate Stephen in the FV215B's backing him up nicely. He's picked himself up a kill, and Shooter MrGavin picks up a kill as well, finally getting rid of that E100 and bringing his damage up to 3,810. Not a bad start at all. As he waits for his reload, that tortoise is limping forward on 79 hit points, but he gets taken out by the T10. And another big shot. That was into the other E100 for another 1,887 damage. So it brings his damage up to nearly 5,700, which isn't a bad start to the game at all. He's still got half his hit points left, and he's waiting for that Death Star to come through, and he puts another shot in. That was 1,200 damage, folks. That was massive. 1,200 damage into the side of the enemy Death Star. Now, I think there's a bit of spaced armour on the sides of these tanks, so that's probably why he didn't get the full 1,700. And now he's looking at that Conqueror. He's angling his tank. Puts four. Looks like Stephen put 400 damage into him, and then Shooter MrGavin finished him off with another 716 hit point shell, bringing his damage up to 7,000 damage. He's sitting there reloading. He's hoping someone's going to go back for that reset. Not a great rush. It looks like there's only one tank on the cap. He's reloaded and he's going to try and get rid of that. Either the Centurion or the E75 if the E75 pokes around that corner. Bounces a shell from the Centurion. Steven 987 gets rid of the other E100. Very handy tank to get rid of on this map. Then he takes out the Centurion 7.1. The accurate gun of the FV215b, the heavy tank, is your best friend sometimes, especially when you've got a number of tanks hanging around on low health. Now from that, they were down a couple of tanks not so long ago. Now they're up by a tank, as MrGavin's trying to move into another position where he can put a little bit more pain into the enemy. You'll be looking at that E75, I reckon. That E75 has got a fair amount of health. If he can get a shot into his side. Sees the Wofford Traeger and one-shots him for 1,600 hit points. That's pretty much, if not full health, for the Tier 9 German tank destroyer. He takes him out with one shot. Now he's only got 2 Hesh rounds left here. He's done over 8,500 damage for 3 kills. Unfortunately, Steven gets derped by the T49. And MrGavin going to try and get behind this E75 or the T54 and take him out of the game. Puts a good shot into the T54. Takes 790 damage out of him, but can he get out of the way of this E75? It looks like the E75 just put a shot into the side of that building. Who's going to reload first? I don't think the E75 can one-shot him, but he looks like he's ramming him. Fires a shot and misses the E75, and then the E75 looks like he gets a shot underneath him as he was going over that pile of rubble between those two buildings, and all of a sudden the game's looking pretty dire for MrGavin and Steven 987 from Anzac Clan. But look at the damage counter, over 9,500 damage from MrGavin and 3 kills apiece. They can certainly walk away from that battle with their head held high, even though it looks like the loss is inevitable. As we look at the post-game battle results, you can see it's a defeat, but he picked up his Mastery Ace Tanker badge, as well as a Bruiser, Fire for Effect, and of course the High Caliber for that massive amount of damage. 9,528 damage, 3 kills, a base experience rate of 1,209. There's a bonus in there for getting the High Caliber, of course, but 1,209 experience is massive in any game, even a win or a loss. That is absolutely massive. You fired 10 shots, 9 of them did damage. Only that last shot where he missed the E75 that didn't do any damage. Which had he landed that shot, it would have brought his his damage up well above 10,000. Awesome game there by MrGavin. Unlucky that it was a defeat, but a pretty good performance nonetheless. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the replay, MrGavin and Steven 987. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you all next time.